This is the second live stream of today because I just did the first live stream. At the start of every day, I create notes for myself and like just a list of the things that I want to get done each day. And I realized that I'd set the intention to make this live stream today. So I'm like, yo, we're gonna have to hop back on the camera and put this live stream out there into the world because I think this is going to be one of my more raw, more powerful live streams. I hope that actually connects with you boys on a deeper emotional level, and actually supply you boys with knowledge that the majority of this industry won't give you. Yeah, the whole like, oh, red pill rhetoric, become a high value man, be an asshole, be emotionally detached, all this nonsense. Apologies as well if the audio is a little bit weird. I was just watching the other live stream back and I was like, oh, it's making like a weird noise every time that I speak. But hey, let's just suck it up and get through it because I wanna share a lot of interesting thoughts here. So I've titled this one "Outperform 99% of Men" when it comes to attracting women. And what I've discovered that for me, and this is very much, I think when it comes to the whole dating game or life game in general, I think it's very much about discovering our own approach to this. Like, I'm just a 27-year-old kid. I probably know nothing. These live streams are just my opportunity to learn out loud, and just share things that have been useful for me, and hopefully they're useful for you as well. But I think that one of my greatest purchasing powers in the sexual marketplace, when it comes to creating powerful attraction with gobsmackingly gorgeous girls, is my emphasis on emotional bravery. Yeah, and this is something that 4 years ago, if someone had said to me, "Oh, you need to be more emotionally brave," I'd have been, "Oh, fuck off, you twat." Like it would have just sounded all woo woo and nonsense and BS. But the further I've gone in this journey, the more I realize that internal state equals external reality. And I think being able to present myself to the world in my most unapologetically transparent form, saying what I feel rather than what I ought to say, presenting myself to not just women, but clients, presenting myself to the internet, to the world, like, listen, this is me, take it or leave it. I think that's one of the most powerful stances to operate from. It's just giving yourself the unconditional adoration. I made a point in a live stream yesterday, which I thought was interesting, and I wanted to explore it more on this stream. In my delirious state yesterday of being heavily sleep deprived, I made the point that I'm not so sure if we can actually fall in love with another person. I'm starting to believe more and more that when we experience love for another person, what we're really experiencing is love for ourselves. It's like through that other person, we're able to experience the capacity to love. So when we say that we are in love can actually be a choice that we make every single day. It's like, I'm in love, who with? Myself, my life, the person that I am, the person who I'm becoming. And I think this is what makes us truly magnetic to women. It's when we approach girls, rather than ruminating in our own egoic self-absorption, rather than fixating on things that happened in the past or dreading the future, experiencing failure in advance, it's like, listen, all of the bullshit, all of the things that I've gone through, all of my insecurities, all of my flaws, all the things that I don't like about myself, I've accepted them. Yeah, I've accepted them, and I'm able to present myself as this full, unapologetic version of myself. To keep this like super practical, because I'm a practical man, I like practical solutions. One of the easiest ways to attain a level of emotional bravery and therefore emotional mastery is when you're speaking with girls, being able to speak your mind more, right? Having this ability to implement what I call state transparency. So if you're super nervous to approach a girl, let her in on that state. It's coming from a place of power rather than from a place of pessimism, right? It's not like, did I say that word right? Pessimism. It's not like, oh, please help me, I'm an absolute sniveling mess. It's like, listen, I saw you and I was like, fuck me, she's well beautiful. I was like feeling butterflies in my belly before I came over here. But like I'd have regretted it if I didn't come over and say you look amazing. Or if you're speaking with a girl, your mind goes blank and you've run out of things to say, just be able to like let her in on that state. Like, yo, I was gonna say something then, but you know when you're speaking with someone and your mind just goes blank, like it's your fault. You distracted me. Like you're too gob-smackingly gorgeous. Quickly, give me something to say. Otherwise, we're gonna have to talk about hashtag families and hashtag feelings. But I think this is just such a great exercise. I get my clients to do this. Like whenever I'm coaching guys one-on-one, I want them at all times to simply be able to give me feedback on how they're feeling. The worst thing is walking with a client and we're just walking in silence for 15 minutes because I know he's up in his head, I know he's thinking about something and it's usually negative. So if I get the impression that my guy is ruminating in his own egoic self-absorption and experiencing failure in advance, let's say his name's Mike, I'll be like, yo, Mike, like what's going on right now? Like how are you feeling where you're at? And he might be like, oh, dude, like, those past two conversations, they didn't really go my way. Now I'm starting to doubt myself. Now I'm starting to think, oh, is this really going to work for me? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, dude, like, let's work with that. Okay, you're not feeling in the best mindsets right now. So there's a few things that we can do here. We can simply change our approach, and rather than approaching girls to get numbers, let's just approach these girls and blow them away with our authentic attraction for them. So let's just like focus on, like for the next 15 minutes, let's just focus on the open. Let's just focus on the first few seconds, blowing these girls away, leaving every girl better than we found them. That's going to increase our state. Or even better, you can actually just go over to girls, but listen, I wasn't really feeling it. I wasn't feeling too great about myself today. Just a couple of things happened. I was like, oh, do I really want to go outside and speak to people? But yeah, I just wanted to come over, tell you that you look amazing, because hopefully that'll make me feel better about life as well. Or if you're feeling quite socially lethargic or socially resistant one day, just being able to use this as your open, right? It's like, oh, there's a girl. Oh, excuse me. Oh, yeah, do you speak English? Great. I woke up today in a horrific mood. And I just couldn't be bothered like doing anything, talking to everybody. But I was like, fuck it, Kristian, you're gonna go outside and you're just gonna speak to a couple of people. You're gonna make other people feel good because that's gonna make me feel good as well. And dude, some of my most powerful connections with women, some of the most fierce, let's use that word, some of the most fierce cosmic connections that I've made have been when I've been operating from this place of just complete detachment, like complete emotional bravery. And I think to actually practice emotional bravery, the thing that's really helped me is actually turning up to these live streams and just sharing, like just being radically honest and just sharing everything about myself. Yeah, it's the same when I'm working with my clients. The reason why I get life-changing results when I work with my guys is because I strip back the bullshit. I think the reason a lot of guys don't get results when it comes to game is because they're focused on game rather than the inner game. Yeah, it's like all of the lines and the routines and the formulaic structures, all of the looks maxing and all of that stuff, none of it makes a shite of difference if you still feel like an unlovable piece of shit on the inside, if you've still got things about yourself which you're hiding from the world that you don't want people to know. It's like you're walking around with this dirty little secret, and it's like this is definitely a process. Like 4 years ago, I wouldn't have had the emotional bravery to turn up to a live stream and be like, my name's Kristian. I used to be addicted to porn. I used to have erectile dysfunction. I used to go out at the weekends trying to get lucky with some mediocre girl because I didn't want to feel lonely. I wasn't even chasing the sex. I just wanted to feel as though my presence meant something to somebody. I just wanted someone. I wanted somebody to validate me and make me feel less like an unlovable piece of shit. I used to battle bad with having a binge eating complex. I can't remember if I've shared that actually. Like I used to really struggle with a binge complex. Like I used to have these late night. I've got a very addictive personality, and that can be a superpower and a kryptonite, because when I find something that I truly love, dude, I'm a savage. I'm just going all in with that thing. It's the same with I did it with magic. I just became obsessive, right? Obsession. I have this obsession with progression. So it's like when I got involved with magic, I was like, I just want to take this shit to the moon. when I first discovered cold approach. I was like, right, I want to become the best in the world at this. I want to become the best who's ever done it. I'm going to do whatever it takes to become the greatest, like the best in the world at daytime cold approach. Then I'm going to create a network for high achievers. Then I'm going to travel the world. Then I'm going to teach it. Then I'm going to create a YouTube channel. It's like I'm having this kaleidoscope of thoughts like as soon as I start something. So it's like I need to be careful with the things I actually begin, because I'm not starting something to just be mediocre. I've never seen the point in doing anything if I'm not prepared to go all in with that discipline. And that's really what I look for in the guys who I work with. I put this content out there to attract my people and repel the rest. Really, when I'm talking to you, I'm talking to myself. I'm talking to the guys who they just feel it in their souls. Like, yeah, I really resonate with Kristian. I really get him. One day, I'm going to link up with him. I'm going to work with him. We're just going to fucking crusade around the world together. That's who I'm making this content for. I don't want to be liked. I either want to be fucking adored or fucking hated. Like, that's polarization. But yeah, I used to have a bad binge eating complex. I had my struggles with alcohol and other naughty narcotics. It's just this, I don't know what it is inside of me. I don't know, actually. Sometimes I think, like, is it a complete desire for oblivion? Do you know what I mean? It's like when I've been in those darkest places in my life, it's like what am I actually, like, why am I consuming all this bad stuff when I know it's bad for me? Like, why am I going back to porn? Why am I drinking too much? Why am I doing all of it? And it's like, I think it was literally just because I didn't really want to be here anymore. And it was like, it was me finding escapism in things which I hoped would help me, I guess, get closer towards a divine in a way, but it would get me closer towards this hellish existence. But this notion of emotional bravery, and I hope that I'm explaining it as good as possible. It's like, now when I'm dating girls, or I'm talking with clients, or I'm just speaking to people who I want to create a connection with, it's like I don't have time for the small talk. I want to just go straight into people's personal tragedies. I want to know who you are when no one's watching. I want to know who you are when you're sat in your apartment at midnight and you're flooded with all of these self-limiting thoughts. Like, that's what I enjoy, because that's what allows me to connect with other people. Like, I've always been somebody who is motivated and fueled by the darker side of human emotions. It's like when I've been at my worst, that's usually when I've done my best work. It's like when I'm feeling super depressed or super anxious, or I was waking up most days hating myself and hating the life that I was living. It's like I was transmuting that pain into power. Yeah, 4 years ago when I was living in that grotty apartment in central Leeds, which was infested by fucking cockroaches. I remember speaking to my mum about this on the phone the other day. I was like, I'm so grateful for that season of my life. Like, I'm so grateful for working all those dead-end 9-to-5 jobs that I worked. I used to work in a caravan park. I worked at a zoo. I used to stack shelves in Iceland supermarket. I was a public speaker at a museum. Just like shitty, really low-level jobs. And I think that's allowed me to develop more of this emotional bravery. Like, I have empathy for people. It might not always come across on these live streams, but it's like, I'm so grateful for the trajectory that I've been put on, because I think it allows me to understand people on a deep emotional level. And I know, I really do think that this is the secret sauce when it comes to living the life, not just a dating life, but like the life that you actually want to live. It's like, yeah, fuck it. like this is me. It's like if people comment on these videos like, you're obnoxious, you're a wanker, I hate you, you're stupid, you're ugly, whatever. It's like, I don't know, it just like, I'm too far gone to actually give a fuck anymore. Like, it did used to get to me. I don't think the human brain is equipped to deal with like so much hate at once. But it's like, now I'm like, it's just like someone saying to me, Kristian, you're Chinese. It's like, whew, it's like, yeah, it's like, I don't know, I think we develop what I call a bulletproof bravado by doing what terrifies us on a daily basis. And I think on a really practical level, if you can set the intention from today onwards to start running towards resistance, to start dive bombing into discomfort, to make a list of all the things that you're currently scared of, the things that really terrify you, and then if you can actually set the intentions to start doing one of those things, like, or all of those things. So like, you might be terrified right now of public speaking, go to improv classes. You might be terrified of cold approaching girls. Go and cold approach one girl. Just do one. Just do one. Just set the intention after you've watched this live stream. If you've never cold approached a girl before, set the intention that today you will leave the house and just say, excuse me, I just wanted to say you look amazing. Congratulations. Now it's not so much of a big deal anymore. Now just continue to be consistent with it. Maybe you're terrified of water. Just fucking find a bit of fucking swimming pool and just get yourself in there. It's like exposure therapy, I've found, has helped to make me magnetic, and I think just being at peace with the perceived worst case scenario. It's like, okay, if I say something to a girl and it quote unquote puts her off, or if I am my full unapologetic self on these live streams and it stops people from wanting to work with me, that's a success, because I've polarized from the start. I think that a lot of people fall into relationships with strangers. I think a lot of people marry strangers because the way they're presenting themselves at the start is not actually how they are. Yeah, it's like I like to go through and navigate the dating world now just from this place of like unapologetic wholeness. It's like, yeah, I used to be a porn addict. I used to have erectile dysfunction. I used to be addicted to certain substances. I used to hate myself. I used to whatever. I'm like, I'm so at peace with that now at 27 years old that, I don't know, I think like where I'm at in my life right now, even though like oftentimes I'll say something, I'll watch myself back and be like, you're an obnoxious fuck. But it's like, I'm truly in a place now where I am operating from a place of self-adoration rather than self-deprecation. And it's like, I could have all the money in the world, I could have the greatest body, I could be living my international lifestyle, but if I fucking hate myself, that's not where I want to be. I just want to be able to present myself to the world. This is me, take it or leave it. It's like the Roman poet Virgil once said, blessings on your courage, boy. That's the way to the stars. And I can see it in other people because I used to be like that. I used to masquerade as this personification of perfection. I used to want to present myself to the world as having no flaws, being this high value man when I was going through my red pill phase. Oh, I need to be high value man, like show no weakness, never get attached to a woman, like never, all this fucking nonsense. And really, all the guys who preach that, they are some of the most insecure guys you'll ever meet. Like I used to be one of them. Yeah, it's like you're trying to, and it's like, I would try and act cool and suave and disinterested. I'd make videos like, yeah, oh, like I'm so fucking high and mighty, like all this fucking yada yada yada. It's like, dude, no, you're just insecure. It's like people say, oh, I'm a perfectionist. No, you're just insecure, and that's okay. And I know, I think it's just like being at peace with all that shit. You know what I mean? I think that's really what allows our dating life to explode, to allow us to attain a level of mental clarity and operate from a place of wholeness rather than from a place of lack. It's like, listen, this is me. I know I've got flaws. I know I've got things. I've done things in my past which I'm not that proud of. I've got my regrets. But you know what? I'm here and I'm going to be my own best friend. I'm going to be my greatest cheerleader. Rather than castrating myself with confidence, I'm going to create a list of all the things that I'm scared of, and I'm going to show up every single day, present myself to the world as I am, rather than how I believe I should be. Because I think there's this conflict within all of us between the person we've always been, the person who we want to be, and the person who we feel as though we should be. And I think really to achieve rip-roaring success in life, it's just stripping it all back and just being like, right, let's focus on who we actually are. Yeah, that doesn't mean don't work on yourself. It doesn't mean don't elevate yourself. It doesn't mean don't improve yourself holistically. But it's like always returning back to this point of origin. Like all the money in the world, all the body, whatever. It's just like, do I actually like myself? Do I actually adore myself? Because if the answer is yes, then you're doing everything right. If the answer is no, then you probably got a little bit of mental housekeeping to do. So yeah, I don't know if any of this has really made any sense. I just felt this spiritual calling to create this live stream. I think it's important. I want to kind of go against all this nonsense rhetoric, which is not actually penetrating the real issue. That's the final thing that I'll say is like, when guys apply to work with me, what they're really seeking is a sense of peace. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, Kristian, like I want to work with you. I want to become more confident. I want to get girls. I want to explore my dating life. And it's like, yeah, I get all that, bro, and I'll give you all that shit. But like, why are we really here? That's what I want to know. Like, guys will share things with me that they've never shared with anybody else, and they'll do it fast. And it's like when they share it, they feel lighter, but then there's like this element of them feeling guilty. It's like, oh shit, I'm sorry, I don't know why I said that. It's like, dude, you said it because you know you can trust me. Yeah, I'm not going to judge you for it. And I want to help you actually navigate this because I've been there myself and I know how much it sucks. But you don't have to put on a facade for me. Yeah, you don't need to pretend to be something that you're not. Like, why are we really here? You know, and when you give people the permission to actually strip back their own bullshit, it's like, you know, I'm just kind of lonely. Like, I don't really like myself. I've never really been able to attract the women that I wanted, and I kind of hate myself. And it's like, okay, I get that. I understand. I think we many of us who get attracted to this space, we're all starting from more of a quote unquote negative position, but I think it's these darker sides of human emotion which allow us to experience the light. It's like, you know, if you can't appreciate the light until you've experienced darkness. So I don't know. I think really I want this live stream to just trigger you into to being more emotionally brave, like just being more no BS with yourself, and just being able to present yourself as you are rather than as you feel as though you need to be. It's a process, of course it is. It's like I'm gonna snap my fingers and overnight it's just like, oh, I'm like this fucking godly figure now. But I think, you know, just starting off one step at a time. Write down all the things that scare you. Start doing them. When you're in your conversations with girls, just be able to speak your mind a little bit more. I think that's what it is. I remember Zan Perry saying that honesty is the greatest aphrodisiac. I think if we can just condition ourselves to just be more brutally honest with ourselves, with our friends, with the world, then it becomes less of this mental jujitsu. It's like, right, I'm just going to say what I want to say. Oh, I don't like that. Oh, Kristian, do you want to come out drinking tonight? No, I don't want to do that because I want to build my business. Oh, you're so boring now. Great, I'm boring. Bye. Fuck you. It's like, you know, that's it. So anyway, I will be quiet now. But yeah, I just wanted to put this out there. It's more for me than anything else. So anyway, I love you all. Speak to you tomorrow. Bye.